All right, so let me go through and let's say we're ready to export. We gave this a green now. Generally, after I hit green, and if there's so generally green, it's ready to go. We're going to export this. Okay, I'm going to right click on here on the image, export. You can also go up here, you can't see this, file and export. Okay, but for this purpose, I'm going to right click and export. All right, so again, wherever you want to put it, if you want to go to your website, go to another software, email. I'm just going to put it on my hard drive. For this situation, if you want to put it on certain locations, you can. For this situation, I'll just have it go to my desktop. If you want to put it in a special folder, you can. All personal choices. This is your file name it's going to be exported to. If you want to create another custom name, you can. Okay, here are the most important settings here. File settings, JPEG. Okay, of course you can export it to something else, but for most places, JPEG that's what you're going to stick with. Color space, sRGB. Sometimes people follow all these YouTube videos, people all over different, and then they start editing over here in Adobe or Pro Photo. It's a bigger gamut, but when you go to print, it's going to be off. So stick with here for most cases, most situations. Quality, you can either keep it at 100, but to be honest, the studies have shown that if you just keep it, around 90, 92, it's still going to be higher quality, lesser file size. Okay. We know we're going to go by an 8x10. In the notes I gave you, where it talks about the resolution. Important. If you're going to print, you're going to want to at least go to 240 to 300. Okay. So make sure you do that. If you're going to go to the web, it's going to be generally in the past it was 72 dpi. Okay, dots per inch. This is pixels per inch. It's a printing versus because we have pixels here. Okay, so anyway, now if you're going to go to the web, it's 144 because of all the retina screens and all the high-res screens that we have. So now you can put it on there. If you put it at 72, somebody looks at it on the web and it is, and they're on a retina screen, it's going to look a little blurry. So keep it at 144. A lot of people just round up to 150. Okay, inches. We are going to print, remember, 18 on the long end on the wide and 12. Okay, oops, we need to change this back to 240. Okay, all right, so we have that here. A lot of times, if you're going to export and you're going to do a photo contest or things like that, they're going to give you pixel dimensions because they're not going to print it. They're going to, so they'll tell you, oh, we want it 2000 wide or whatever. So just make sure you follow their instructions. This is how you change it. Look, it did the math, right? 18 inches wide equals 4320 pixels. So it does the math for you. All right. Now keep in mind, if you didn't crop earlier and you shot it on a Panasonic Olympus Micro Four Thirds camera, it's going to be squished and rearranged because you didn't crop it to that aspect ratio of 12:18. So this is very important that cropping, make sure you do that in your final output. And then when you come to export, everything will be smooth. Okay. Output sharpening, don't worry about that. It's mainly for people who have their own printers at home, and then you can even fine-tune it to print on a matte paper, glossy, or whatever kind of paper. The reason they have this is because depending on the printing paper that you have, you're going to want to sharpen for that paper. So matte paper is generally, you're going to sharpen more. Glossy, you sharpen less. So we have certain abilities to change the sharpening. Watermarking, very controversial, not controversial, but a personal preference, right? If you're going to print and you want a watermark, that's how you do it. I would recommend not doing it. Again, if it's going to go to a website, sometimes I put a watermark on there. Gallerists will tell you that they do not want to see copyrights on there. It's too distracting if you're going to put it on the web. All depends what your goal is. All right? So that's a lot of stuff I just went through really fast. Again, this is your most important information right there. Okay, now we're going to export it and you're going to see the progress bar. There you go. It's happening and it's going to be exporting to your desktop. Okay, I'm going to go to my Finder, look on my desktop, and I should see that file there. Yep, that's the one I created right there. And it's 7 megs.